The first part of our lesson today is about polygon interior and exterior angle sum theorems. The first rule is the polygon interior angle sum theorem says the sum of the measure of the interior angles of an n-gon, n means the number of sides in the formula, is n minus 2 times 180. A polygon is a closed plane figure with at least 3 sides, just to remind you of what a polygon is. The exterior angle sum, when you add all the exterior angles together, will always add to 360 degrees for that rule. So a couple of really important theorems that we have for the lesson. The interior angle sum, n minus 2 times 180, and the fact that the exterior angle sum is always 360. The rule comes from the n minus 2 part comes from the number of triangles you could form if you draw the diagonals from one vertex. So if you look at a triangle and you're thinking about a vertex, like this one here, you can't draw any diagonals to the other side of the vertex. So the number of triangles in this triangle is 1. With this square over here, say I pick this vertex, I can draw one diagonal. That creates 2 triangles. That's why for the quadrilateral, you'll see that it has 2 triangles. I drew a pentagon here, just to demonstrate the rule here. If I draw as many diagonals as I can here, you'll see that the pentagon, I kind of missed there, ends up with 3 triangles in it, and that's why it says 3 for the number of triangles for the pentagon. And that's where this comes from. The number of triangles within the figure is the formula n minus 2. It's the number of sides minus 2. And then we know that a triangle, the angles of a triangle add to 180. And so if you add the sum of the angles of all these triangles inside of this pentagon, you'll get the sum of all the angles inside of the pentagon. And that's why we have this n minus 2, the number of triangles, times 180. So if you forgot the formula, you could always redraw the figure, find the number of triangles, multiply by 180, and you have the sum. So here they have, also you need to know the names. Here's the names of the figures. If it doesn't have a name, we just put a number for the number of sides there for the ones that don't have a typical name. So if it has 9 sides, that's a nonagon. Nonagon, 9 sides. And if we wanted the sum, we would plug into that formula. That's 9 minus 2 times 180. And we would get the sum to be 1,260 degrees. For a 10-sided figure, that's a decagon. And so 10 minus 2 times 180 will give me 1,440 degrees. And for a 12-sided figure, that's a dodecagon. And so 12 minus 2 times 180 gives us 1,800 degrees. So most of the time we're going to find the sum in order to solve for a variable in a picture, like on the next problem. Here I have a figure and it says to solve for x. The first thing I need to do is to find what the sum would be for this figure. So I count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I start by finding the sum. 6 sides minus 2 times 180 will give me the sum for the figure, 720 degrees. Then I add together my angles, combining my like terms. So I have my 120 plus 100 plus 140 plus 150 plus 120 adds to 630 degrees. And then we also have our angle that's x. all of them should add to 720. So if I subtract 630, I'll see that x will equal 90 degrees. The next question said, what is the measure of each interior angle of a regular octagon? What does regular mean? Regular means that they're all the same exact measurement. So far we've only had the formula for the sum. The formula for the sum is n minus 2 times 180, where n is the number of sides. If we're talking about an octagon, the sum would be 8 minus 2 times 180. If we wanted each angle measure, what we would do is find the sum and then divide by the number of sides. The sum here is 1080, and we're going to divide it by 8 because there's 8 sides and there's 8 angles. And then we'll find that we have 135 degrees for each angle inside of the octagon, if it is regular. So what would be the formula to calculate each interior angle of any regular polygon? Well, we would take the sum and we would divide by the number of sides, or angles. So the sum is n minus 2 times 180, and then we're going to divide by n. So this will be the formula for each interior angle of a regular polygon. The sum of the measures of an interior angles of a convex polygon is 1260. Classify the polygon by the number of sides. So this is the sum that they gave us. Sum is 1260. We know that the formula for the sum is n minus 2 times 180. So we set the sum that they gave us equal to the sum formula, and we're going to solve for n. You could distribute the 180, but it's easier if we divide by 180 here. Just different methods of our algebra. That will leave us with n minus 2 equals 7. And then when we add 2 to get n alone, we find that n is 9. And when they say classify, they don't only want us to find the side, they want us to name it. So this is a nonagon. Then it says solve for x on the bottom part of that page. And they gave us a quadrilateral. You should already have memorized that a quadrilateral will always add to 360. So I'm not going to do the sum formula because I already know that the sum is 360. So in this picture, what I'm doing is x plus 71 plus 112 plus 135 will total 360. So x plus 318, if I combine, is 360. And when I subtract 318, I'll find that x is 42. It says the base of a lamp is in the shape of a regular 15 gon. Find the measure of each interior angle and b the measure of each exterior angle. So each interior angle is going to be found by finding the sum and dividing by 15. So it's going to be 15 minus 2 times 180 divided by 15. So the first part, part A, is 156 degrees. Just using that formula. And then for part B, they want each exterior angle. Now the rule is that each sum of any polygon exterior angle is always 360. So if we take that sum of 360 and we divide by the number of sides, we will get each exterior angle, and since it's regular, they'll all be the same here. That's why we can just divide by 15 like this, and so we get 24. So part B is 24 for that question. So if they ever want each exterior in a regular polygon, you would always just take the 360 and divide it by the number of sides for your exterior. Number 4, at the bottom of that page, it gives us a picture and it's asking for x again, and again we don't know how how much degrees in this polygon, so we have to count the sides and figure it out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So to find the sum, 6 minus 2 times 180 is 720 degrees. And then we'll add up the angles that we know. So adding these, combining our like terms, you know this one's 90 over here. So 90 plus 124 plus 150 plus 93 plus 130 will add up to 587. And then angle that's marked X will add to 720 because the figure should have that many degrees in it. Subtracting the 587, X is 133.